Welcome to the Hot Box of the Boss, Pedro. Everybody, this is Pedro Marshall. Pedro, how long have you been here for?
Since Methuselah was a boy. I think I started I first started when it was in the house, and that would have been in about 1986 or maybe 1987, something like that.
I was in year 8 or year 9. Wow.
Okay. If only I had have known.
Yeah.
I could have come along with a bag of boiled lollies.
We'll get to that name later on with the boiled lollies, but I need a drink of water first. You're right. Oh.
No, okay.
Started here as a sales rep originally?
Yes. Yeah, I was brought on to replace Cliff Whiting, because he wanted to get the hell out.
Yeah.
Well, back then it was very much like a family company, because it was Tim and Carolyn, who was his partner, and Cliff and myself and Max. The story, as I understand it, is Tim spent some time in Japan, and he got very interested in carpentry tools, particularly the old traditional ones. Then when he came to Australia, he was asked by a hairdresser if he could sharpen her scissors, and he said he'd have a go. It just sort of spread organically. He didn't particularly set out to do it, and just it found him. It was a career which found him.
When did you come into the picture from there? Probably a couple of years after that?
A couple of years after they'd started.
Cool.
Yeah.
What was your first car for Excellent Edges?
Oh, it was a absolute shitbox. It was a white Skoda, and I think I don't know, it might have been about 200cc or something. But I used to flog the hell out of it, and it was a great fun little car.
You've had many a car?
Yeah, many a car.
Like Commodores?
Commodores. Tim liked Holdens, so we always had Holdens.
Yeah.
But the funnest car was that little Subaru.
I guess as a sales rep back then, it's a tough gig, yeah?
I actually, for most of my time with Excellent Edges, I was a sales rep, and I actually enjoyed it. It was like having this sort of a family in Excellent Edges, and then a family out, particularly in the country, with all the country people. And it was like I loved it over time. I would meet someone as an apprentice and sell them their first pair of scissors, and then see them a few years later and sell them the next pair, and then eventually over time they'd wind up owning a salon and they'd bring me in to see their apprentice. And it was really, I really loved that aspect of it.
Obviously from there you've now transitioned from sales and moved into account ninja.
Well, okay.
We gave shitty names to everybody, and
Yeah.
Pedro came up with their name, Account Ninja, or was it Pedro?
No, it was you.
It was me. Okay. I like to blame everything on everyone else.
Look, it's been a really good extension of my life, and it now pretty much means I've sort of done just about everything in the company. I mean,
you've been bladesmithing as well.
I've been bladesmith for a little while. I've done sales repping. I'm doing sort of the admin side.
Well, it's funny because I always think about Excellent Edges as a hairdresser, when I purchased, every time I rang up, it was always you coming out.
I always used to dread coming to see you, because you'd always give me a bloody hard time, trying to screw me for a deal that I wouldn't want to do. And I knew that you'd just go behind my back and sort of get them from Tim anyway.
So it's funny because it's true.
You were back in those days a pest. But anyway, that was
forgiving me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Favourite thing about the role now? Least favourite thing would be the music.
Yeah, look, as I've gotten older, doof music, when I'm trying to concentrate, I find it hard, but I think that's just my age. The company still feels like a family to me. It's always felt like a family. It's always been, in essence, a little bit like a place for misfits, is what I've always thought. The people that it tends to attract and the people that work here have all been individuals, some on a more positive note and some on a more negative note, but they've all been a little bit quirky, and that's kind of nice. It's not and it's always felt to me like I've seen a lot of people come and a lot of people go, but it's always felt like a family. And that's something that I'm really glad that you've carried on You know, it's a different company now from what it used to be, but it's a much better company now.
Oh, thank you.
It really is. It's a company. It's always been a company that's had a lot of heart, but you've really sort of melded and brought in a new spirit.
There's an incident that happened here a while ago where money went missing out of the bank, and it was put on Bet365.
Yeah.
And how much was it? It was $1,500 that went missing,
Roughly. Yeah.
And Pedro came to me and said, "Are you gambling?" And I'm like, no. He's like, "You're using our funds." And we're checking the credit cards and stuff and trying to work out who it was, and we thought, it must be Jamie.
He'd only recently got a
Credit card. Yeah, I still think it was Jamie.
Well, look, the thing is, I knew it wasn't me, so it had. If it wasn't Pete, it had to be Jamie. It's as simple as that.
The funniest thing is, it was Pedro.
It was my card.
Pedro's card. And so it actually got hacked, and. But even funnier than that, all of a sudden there was winnings in there. So whoever put the money in trying to siphon it out obviously put money on a race to try and cash in, and it won. And we ended up with $2,000 coming back into the account as well.
Yes, I think it was about 1,400 went out and about 2,300 came back in.
And then the bank obviously gave us back the money, but then they didn't know what to do with the winnings, so so we kept it.
Well, no one knew what to do with it.
What's your favourite drink?
Gin and tonic.
Gin and tonic. Nice. If you were going to go away on a holiday with someone in here,
Mm-hmm.
who would you choose to go away with and why?
Okay, that's really sort of putting me on the spot. Look, any of the girls would do. They're all beautiful in their own ways. And actually, I'd take all three. All four, right?
All four.
I was thinking of the younger ones, but
sorry, Kay. You're a man of a lot of sayings as well. I always laugh when the FBOS machine is processing, and you always drop the is it two shakes of a
lamb's tail.
A lamb's tail.
Yeah, that's how long things take. And there's the favourite, of course, the dick in the shirt sleeve.
What, dick in the shirt sleeve?
Dick in the shirt sleeve, yeah.
I don't know that one. What's
Okay.
that? What's that?
I'm damned if I know. And wouldn't give a rat's ass.
Your goodbye every time you leave.
Hooroo.
Hooroo. I love that. Always get a hooroo. It's
Just trying to keep Hooroo alive. Yeah.
And doing a wonderful job of it. Favourite scissor?
It's got to be the Dragon.
Ooh.
I mean, I probably sold more FMF 55s and 60s than anything else as far as a high-end scissor. But once the Dragon came along, I remember when we first saw them, and I thought that potentially we might sell a dozen of them because they're pretty expensive. But it turned out pretty much just about anyone that you could get it in their hand fell in love with it. And then it was a matter of whether they could afford to buy it or not. But, I mean, for me, the Dragon has always been probably the classiest scissor, I think. It's and I just, the feel of it, the ergonomics of it, but also when you cut with it, I just like the feel of it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. They sound nice, yeah?
They sound good. Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you for joining me in the hot box, Pedro. It has been wonderful as always. It's always a pleasure to have you around.
Thanks, mate.
What's the saying go? Hooroo.
Hooroo.
Hooroo.